And I think we are live. Hello, world. Well, at least in Twitch. Hopefully YouTube is live here. Let me see. It says it's been live for 5 seconds. There we go. Hello, YouTube land. Don't mind me. I'm still getting the hang of YouTube live sessions. But we were gone for a little bit, but we have returned. Let's see. Let me make sure that my Twitch isn't going to echo. Mute. All right. There we go. Perfect. All right, so last we left off, we had finally arrived after a nice little adventure, stopping at one of the orc villages before heading to the ruins of the dead finally. And Bordak had returned. Unfortunately, Bordak currently is having some health issues, hoping that he gets better and feeling up to 100% here pretty soon. We do miss him as our leader in the group. However, I will do my best to help out any adventurers that need help with his knowledgeable weapons. We arrived at the ruins, at the entrance. So currently staring and getting ready. I think you arrived just as the sun was barely still up in the sky. I think still getting around the evening time, but it was still shining since y'all left early in the morning and traveled for a while during the daytime. But if that being the case, where you are currently standing, you are able to see that the sky is pretty thick with rolling gray clouds. And you were able to see this as you were approaching anyway from a distance away. So the sun is veiled behind what seems like to be a haze casts, and only that dim, lifeless light is washing upon the land. And it gives everything these sort of shade of gray and dull brown. And as you approach closer to this entrance, you definitely can see the ruins, but there is an unnatural stillness that grips the air as well. There's not even any bird songs, no distant howls of wolves or animals moving about as well. And the only thing that you can hear is mainly the whispering of the wind that moves through the shattered stone. And you're currently standing in front of this entrance, and you feel this unease about it. It all gripping deeply into your bones. A sense of danger. Grom, you definitely feel this pretty much grasping you. Your heart is pumping right now. Your adrenaline is running. You start thinking about the ideas of death now, and you also remember back with Silent and what almost happened to her, and your mind is sort of lingering on her as well. Tarnik, you are, of course, more of a battle-hardened warrior here. You're cautious but also excited and ready to head on in and figure out what awaits. But you do also feel that lingering presence, as well as you, Cyrix and Cub. Cub for sure, a sense of more, not in a sense of evil, but something that's corrupting this land, this area. And floor is open to you guys. What do y'all wish to do as you are staring into this mouth of the city?
Should we enter, or should we camp here and wait until morning?
How about somebody I want somewhere a bit more secure.
Cyrix, let me see here. I could barely hear you. I don't know if that's coming from my side. Can everybody else hear Cyrix fine?
Sounds very quiet.
Let's see.
Is that any better?
Ooh, there we go. There we go. Right there. Now I can hear you. Yeah, it was very low. I don't know if it was mine, so I was just making sure.
Now I'm on a headset mic instead of my Wii mic because I'm rearranging.
Rob is gonna look at Tarek and say, "What are you thinking? Inside the village or outside of it?"
Well, I think they need somewhere defensive. This is a city of the dead. You don't want them running all over our campsite as we try to sleep. So, is a building or something that we can defend with one entrance, that would be very good.
Rob, take a look around and see if there's, like, just from this vantage point, any possible candidates for a place to camp, like maybe a building that we can see from the street here that might suffice as a defensive position.
So you want to take, staying at this, where I'm pinging right now, you want to look into this vantage point in here and see. So,
Is that a trail? Like,
yeah, that is a ruined tower right there. Not completely what it seems like there. It is ruined. You see parts of it standing, but it is also, from what you can see from the structure of it, could almost possibly be in a point where it could fall as well. You're not really sure. You see it like just standing at the last of its stones. And then roll me a perception. Let's go with perception. So that is a 6.
Is it
9. Okay.
9 altogether?
So, from what you can see, and also looking inside this first street, definitely buildings on the sides here. All of them seem to be crumbling, and some of them you only see the framework layered on the ground. And interestingly enough, you also see that most of this haze that's covering the sun seems to be a bit thicker in here, not giving you very much details to what you could find in here. In fact, you could probably maybe see up to currently up to just 30 feet, and then after the 30 feet it just gets too thick for you to see beyond.
What is the nearest building Rob sees with like an entrance?
I would say that there's one to the left, so from where you are you could see it in this direction, and it would have a door. You can see a door. It's ruined, but not sure what else you could garner from there.
Rob might go ahead and ride forward on the crag and approach that door.
Okay. Let's see.
Being careful, of course, keeping an ear open, eyes open for any sign of movement. He'd be scanning all around, trying to be aware of this.
Okay, let me get this quick here. I lose all my all right, so with that being said, I would say we'll just use this one. My folders are kind of missing still, but I'm gonna move y'all over to this. Is Grom the only one that's moving forward, or is the group moving? Silent will definitely move forward with Grom. She's like,
Yeah, kind of.
okay. So everybody's moving forward. I'll put y'all in here.
Brown would hold up a finger, like to his lips, as if to indicate he's trying to be quiet.
Okay. You know what? Go ahead and roll me. Everybody, roll me a stealth then. With that being said. Oh, okay. Nice.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh, wow. So with that, I rolled a 35.
Everybody thought that Cyrix was with them and just disappears from the universe out of nowhere.
So 14.
Okay. Moving very carefully. All right. See if I can.
So that'd be 17 for me.
17. All right. I'll roll for board deck here. Let me increase the size here. It's not that a little tiny there. So this is basically the room that y'all saw. He's a little bit bigger than that. There we go. Tickles. All right. And then where is... have him here for now. All right. Oh, I don't know if you still have that aura around you or not, but so this is pretty much the room that you are in currently. The door was actually right here. The fog is still lingering outside. Not quite sure what this would be as you step in, but you still sense as if now that you're inside the threshold of the actual city, as if there is something of a presence here. It makes your... I'm not really sure what Grom would have. I guess hair, his fur or hair prickle along with anybody else. It's just, you'll feel like a chill. Makes your skins kind of goosebump.
Every so often, Tarnik will use his divine sense and basically ignore any undead, because it's a city of undead. So if there's anything else there that he could use his divine sense to at the time of doing the area.
Okay.
Yep.
Interesting. All right. And as far as...
So celestial fiends, undeads within 60 feet of Tarnik.
Let me see something here. Let me rejoin this stream as a player so everybody can see the maps we're on. Forgot to do that. There we go. Perfect. All right. So, definitely do feel undead. Does it give you the location? I forgot. Or does it just tell you if they're around?
If they're around.
Okay.
Around.
William, Waz, I think, is echoing in your. That is better.
There we go. Yeah, I muted mine. I was trying to figure it out.
Nah, I unclicked the mute button on the ninja thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, so that's interesting. Okay, so divine sense. No, you don't feel anything else or sense anything else within the 60 feet that you would be in. And I think these walls, nothing beyond these walls, I guess, in a sense. So let me see here. Yeah, the walls, once you walk into the walls, you can't feel anything outside. So I don't know if you would have done that before you would have walked in or in here. But if you did it in here...
Probably before I walked in, I think.
Okay.
Just because the increasing sense of dread.
If you would have done it outside, somewhere within 60 feet, you would definitely have sensed undead. As you walk in here, you don't sense the undead. Let's see. Interesting. Okay. So yeah, you don't sense other entities as well, but just the undead. Yet you still feel a sense of being watched.
And Grom do a little walk around of the walls here, and basically he's wanting to check and see if the door they came in was the only door.
Oh yeah. Go ahead and roll me an investigation.
Is this gonna be like our base place where we're gonna rest up before we continue towards?
Simply, if it proves secure enough.
Because if so, I can just go ahead and cast my hearth.
Sorry, I forgot. I muted myself. Yeah, they're about 20 feet tall, and as you're investigating with that roll, I would say to you nothing seems out of the ordinary. A lot of rubble in here, and no other doors. The only other thing was maybe a broken window that would be to the I guess left side of you.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I can see the window. Okay. Grom was gonna say it seems secure with only one door, as far as I can tell. Only that window. Is there a roof on this, or is there no roof?
There is a roof. You can still see outside though. So there's like a large hole I would say that's in the center. And then little pieces of other roof kind of crumbling here and there. But yeah, it does have kind of a roof there. It'll cover about 60% of the area.
T-Rex, do you think anyone's been walking around in here? Or any tracks or anything?
We haven't seen anything so far. Would you like me to make an investigation or a perception to get a feel for the inside of this space?
And are you looking for tracks?
Yeah, tracks, anything useful.
Actually, go ahead and roll me survival or investigation.
Did she have advantage with tonic helping out?
18.
Yeah.
Investigation.
Yeah, you can roll with an advantage. Yeah, we can do that. Since Tarnik is helping.
We have 18.
With 18, you do just notice that it's very dusty in here and quite easy to see if anyone had been trekking around the area. However, it's nothing but rubble and maybe some smaller scurrying creature, but not really anything that has to do with humanoid size or larger in here. It seems to be abandoned for quite some time.
Some streaks or anything in the dust, like something being dragged along, something like that.
No. Just little tiny pitter-patter of tracks of little rodents possibly, but other than that, nothing else.
Yes, Sirix would relay that to the group. Now, there's nothing over here. Even the dust is undisturbed.
Ah, that's good. Shall we set up camp here then?
Let's
Do
see
you
what
want to do your special thing, Tom? Yeah, or shall we just listen?
I can do that.
And Tony would start looking for the leads or anything like that to make a fire with.
And you were looking for what?
Twigs and sugar and things to make a little fire with.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, you'll definitely find them in here. It's been pretty old ruins here. Some tinder and possibly twigs that had blown in here from somewhere.
As they are doing that, Grom is gonna get dried meat rations out of his pack and hand one to everybody. How many do Shiv and the bear to get fed?
I would give the bear for sure a day's at least.
Okay, so like one ration would be enough to feed the bear.
Yeah, if it's a day's ration, yeah. It's a big boy. Probably needs a little more than that, but it's enough to keep him for now.
Shiva will be sniffing the ground looking for those rodents that are leaving the tiny tracks.
Oh, okay.
He'll probably try and catch those if they show up.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a survival for him. Then, yeah. You see the bear just kind of move up forward and start sniffing as soon as you pull out food. Just shoves his way right toward y'all.
Grom's gonna give him a ration, and he's gonna hand everyone else a ration
I'm good. I have my good berries here.
too. This is some tasty meat. Are you sure?
I'm good with the good berries. Just the last one.
Very good. Put that ration back in the pack.
Silently, like, snaps and grabs the meat. She's like, She don't care. She's like, very good. You're getting a little bit better at talking her common. Ah. Yeah.
Grum's gonna go ahead and toss shit or
Something like a couple of rocks and enough piece of dried meat.
You see, oh my gosh, we haven't played for a while. What was the bear's name again? Crag. There we go. He'll like actually go to this corner and munch on his stuff and curl up. He'll sit down on his rump first and just kind of eat with his two front paws. And other than that, that's what he's doing. And I guess Chiv is enjoying his mice.
Is there any way, like, is there a ladder or stairs or anything that Grom finds that would lead to the top of this, thing? This looks like it could be a good, like, lookout area, but is there any obvious way to get up there?
No obvious way. You can roll me an intelligence skill. Grom can't figure out how to get up there unless he's just gonna try to just huff it and just climb the wall itself using the little cracks. Okay. All right. It is pretty cracked in here, so go ahead and roll me in athletics or acrobatics. Ooh. Silent is looking, as she's munching on her meat, looking fairly impressed as he climbs this, and she like looks over at Tarnik and Goblin, and she's like, "Never seen cow climb so well," and she kind of giggles to herself.
Never seen a cow climb.
Grom is gonna say, in the south, the mountain goats are excellent climbers, and they have hooves like a me. He's just talking while he's climbing. Would he succeed at reaching the top?
Yes, he does succeed at reaching the top.
From that vantage point, can you see, like the area in front of the door?
Definitely, he would be able to see the road that y'all had come in through. For sure, being able to, at that 20 feet is pretty high vantage point. So you would definitely see plenty of this area right here, all this area. This seems to be more like flat ruins, like there was something in the middle, but then it just crashed. So you see more of the framework and foundation that's kind of almost buried by sand and dirt currently. But there are similar buildings like where you're at, but more in ruins per se. More crumbled rocks than building actually by this time. And then, so you do have a pretty good vantage point right here. In fact, roll me a perception.
I'm just gonna sit up here and keep watch over the streets.
All right, 9 perception. You are.
At least come back into the space so that way you can gain the perks and benefits out of it.
Maybe. I'm trying to decide if he would do that or if he'd want to keep a vantage point here during his watch or whatever. It might be advantageous to have some eyes on the outside.
Well, I mean, the thing is that it's basically
so here's what I think Grum's gonna do. He's gonna kind of say this to the group down below. He's gonna say, "I will take first watch for 2 hours. I will stay up here during this time, and then I will wake someone up to replace me. Perhaps we do not have to be up here the whole time, but I would like to watch. This place makes me uneasy."
I agree.
Presence of the undead is unmistakable. Everywhere.
So, as Grom prepares to take his watch, he would do this. He would take his, he has a rope, and he would tie one end of it securely to kind of that spot. So, in the event he needed to, he could perhaps, climb down or swing down relatively quickly, not have to just climb carefully down. So he would just tie it and leave it up there.
Okay.
Just settle in and just start watching. He would not play his viol. He was just trying to be quiet.
All right. And then, and I suppose everybody else is just going to eat and relax and then settle down for a rest?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Nothing in particular?
And crossbow warning, so.
Oh, I forget about the crossbow. I forgot you have the crossbow warnings, and I think Pordak does too. He has a warning. Oh, the bane of my existence. I forgot about those. Oh. Let's see.
Grom would just be up there chewing on his meat, keeping watch, and then he would be thinking about the situation, kind of trying to think like an orc, kind of trying to get more into that orc mindset.
Nice.
Maybe he would sharpen his knife a bit.
So while you're doing that, can you link that? Does it let you link it in the VTT? The warning. What was it? Crossbow warning. I could probably. Let me see. Oh, okay, cool.
It's not your. Be right back.
Okay. Alarm. Okay.
This group's getting hard to ambush.
Yes.
That's the moonbeam campsite thing.
Exactly. Let's see. I was trying to see if it it says when combat begins. Huh. I'm trying to remember how exactly. And then it has alarm. Yeah, so alarm itself.
I think it's just specifically if we get attacked while sleeping, it wakes everyone up.
Okay. Yeah, because I was trying to see if that's like two separate things with alarm or not.
Yeah, and then also advantage on initiative.
Yeah. Yeah, so benefits alarm. And then there's a period, and then the weapon magically awakens subject who is sleeping naturally. Okay, yeah, so I think, yeah. Because I know alarm is pretty good. Okay. 30 feet. Okay, cool. Maybe not as bad, but still. I always forget about those warning ones, and I'm like, oh! Retcon. Alright, let's see here.
Does it still say you can't be surprised? Doesn't seem to say it in the description though.
No, it doesn't say it on mine.
Oh,
That's interesting.
maybe it's a different one.
Huh. Yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out. There was something...
24.
Oh, maybe. Oh, is it a? Maybe it's an updated thing. I wonder if it is. Yeah, because that's.
Yeah.
I noted. I figured there was something different about it because I was like, wait a minute. Why did I hate it more than that before? So maybe they removed the surprised. It's like,
Taking the surprise out of it.
yeah, because yeah, I couldn't surprise anybody. I remember that. I was like, oh, I can't. Especially against like sneaky little fellers. All right, so since everybody else is resting, then, and Grom, you are up there just keeping watch. The sun will start to linger in and edge closer into the horizon until finally it buries itself deep within the earth, and the darkness eventually blankets this entire area. Roll me a wisdom save.
That's for
Everybody or just me?
Yes, you.
Are you still with is it 15 feet of funding?
I'd be more than 20 feet away because I'm up on top of that wall.
Then, yeah, so you wouldn't get the +4 then.
12. Okay. And so yeah, you're sitting there sharpening your dagger. You definitely start seeing the runes, and your mind starts maybe even playing tricks as you see the darkness falling like shadows from these cracked and barren earth-like bones of buildings, kind of resembling almost like a colossal giant of sorts, or some long dead beast. It was weird because these towers that are crumbled lean in some sort of unnatural angles, as if their jagged remains are trying to claw at the sky. And you also do notice that there are faded banners. They've been torn by the relentless winds that are probably just blasting into this area, since it is pretty flat aside from the city itself. And you rolled a 12. Roll me a perception. Do what now?
I don't know that I'm close enough to get that, actually.
Oh yeah, yeah. You would be outside of it right now. You don't notice anything else aside from what these shadows and mind tricks are playing with you currently, and throughout their resting. How long was the rest of the group going to rest? Did y'all want a full rest, or you're taking just a couple of hours, or y'all going for a full rest?
Assuming we were gonna try for a full rest.
Okay.
Brom's gonna wake up sometime after 2 hours, so we could.
Okay. Okay.
That's what I thought was going on.
Okay. Okay. So, as everybody else is resting, and you are alone here, Grom, with just your thoughts, and the night is, aside from the wind, which almost sounds like a whisper, and you think to hear something almost at the edge of your senses, like if something is trying to say something. It's not exactly speech, but there's like some sort of susurrus of something moving just beyond your sight, maybe shifting within the runes, but you definitely sense as if it's watching.
I mean, he's probably gonna see undead things, but just trying to stay quiet. And he would just kind of remain behind whatever debris he could, but try to peer out and get a little better look.
Okay. As you, let's see, is it perception 6? Okay. As you peer out and just look, you definitely can notice that the mist has gone and grown thicker. You actually see the mist swirling around, some of it hovering closer to the earth and crawling, rolling over the ground. And as this is happening, you finally start to feel your skin as if it's trying to crawl with those goosebumps that you're feeling, your hair prickling. It's almost like an electric sensation of energy lingering and tickling around your body in a sense. And Grom can almost imagine as if there's like invisible hands and fingers just at the very edge of his senses of feeling around his skin. Does he do anything else?
No, he's just gonna wait there, but he's gonna say a silent prayer to the orc god. Just kind of asking for strength, to have the strength of the orcs in this unsettling environment. He's just trying to keep his nerves under check, pretty much.
And then
he sees something like actually attacking them or something, he's not gonna make any sudden movements.
okay. As time seems to linger on within these 2 hours that seem to be turning into an eternity for you alone. Everybody else just resting and not in sight out here by yourself. You swear you hear some words again. And then you hear like a whisper that says, "He woke the dark." And then it fades. You're not quite. You can't quite understand what it's saying. It says, "He fed it our souls." And it's just broken language, catching every few words.
And this is just coming from kind of like the darkness.
Yeah.
Beyond his sight. Yeah. Well, that's unsettling. But I think Brahm's just gonna try to remain there until his 2 hours is up.
And
watch and see if he sees anything. It's pretty spooky.
And then, as this is happening, you eventually, as you're looking toward the front, staring at this city of sorts, it's if the blackness is just getting darker and darker. If you could imagine a cave and that tunnel vision of darkness, now another layer of darkness just filling in, almost like a suffocating darkness that makes him feel like he needs to move his hands or something to not suffocate in it. It's almost as if he was going blind, but you can still see in the periphery the edges of buildings. And as that is happening, let me roll something really quick. Wow, okay. A 7. You feel a sense. What is he wearing?
Grimes actually, he is wearing his just traveler's clothes and then his leather armor. He doesn't have his shift weave on right now.
Okay. He will sense as if something like moves and you feel something just start trying to part the way of his fur that's under his armor right now. And it's like right in his back, and then it starts going all the way up to the middle of his back.
Like he feels like something's touching him?
Yeah. And now it's like parting the fur like right in the middle of his back and going higher and higher, crawling up to the back of his neck. It's trying to get there. It's not there yet, but you feel it. It's going toward that direction.
Oh, man, this doesn't sound good. All right. Does he have any concept of how long it's been that he's been up here?
Yeah, I'll say about you have a good 10 minutes left.
So he is going to actually whirl around, and he's going to, he has his knife, but he's not going to use his knife. He is going to whirl around, and whatever it is, he's going to try to grab a hold of it. Because there's a little thought in the back of his mind that maybe it's one of his companions, like letting him know that the watch is up, but he thinks it's unlikely, so he doesn't want to go stabbing. But he certainly doesn't like this. So he's going to twirl around and just try to kind of grab whatever it is, like maybe grab him by the shirt or something.
As you spin around to try to grab something, the only thing that meets you is air. And you feel the scraping of some pebbles and stone on top of this reef that you're on. But there is nothing there. Completely empty. And then, once again, you feel something now really start like pressing against your back and starts parting your fur inside your armor there and starts like just gripping hard, pushing toward your neck.
Like, oh, that's unsettling. All right. When he whirled around before, did the feeling kind of stop? Like,
it stopped for a little bit, but now it's like really, it seems very, very intent now.
So he's gonna whirl around and actually swing his knife in the direction. Try to attack. Maybe it's an invisible ghost or something. He's gonna try to like attack it, and then if it stops touching him, he's gonna quickly grab that rope and try to swing down off of the perch. That's his plan.
Okay. Once again, you swing around and you actually hear the whiz of the knife and cut through the air, but you hit nothing. And then suddenly you start feeling this thing, whatever it is just about at your neck. It's getting closer and closer. And then you feel like like it's starting to pierce you with something. So you take 1 point of damage.
Alright, he takes point damage. So at this point, is he able to kind of swing down the is he able to grab the rope and kind of swing down?
Yep.
Or does the thing have him grappled or something?
No, there's nothing grappling him. He can swing down if he wishes to.
Yeah, he's gonna try to swing down with the rope. In other words, he's trying to get off that ledge fast, basically.
Okay, go ahead and roll me in athletics or acrobatics with advantage.
Alright, we'll do athletics, and it's with advantage. Let's see here. Yeah.
18. Okay. So you're able to quickly jump off the ledge and you make it to the ground and land on your hoofs. And then you still feel like now there's something that's really like pulling at your hair and like just moving all over and on your back.
He's basically gonna go straight for basically whoever's closest. When he lands, who would be the closest person to him?
Aside from Shiv, I would say maybe it's either Sykes or Tarnik. Actually, they're pretty much about the same distance.
Then the first thing he would do is he would run up and kind of like nudge Tarnik with his foot, trying not to be super loud. And then
if Grom is taking damage, wouldn't that trigger my crossbow and wake everyone up?
Yes, possibly.
Can Grom also try to vicious mockery, whatever this thing is?
Does that require to see it or just?
Oh, let me double check here. That's a good question. Vicious mockery says you unleash a string of insults laced with subtle enchantments at one creature you can see or hear within range. What do you think, GM? Would this qualify, or is this not really?
I don't think it would. Yeah, it wouldn't qualify because you haven't heard noise and you haven't seen this thing.
Gotcha. Okay. Very good. In that case, let me see, is there anything?
Does Tarnik wake up or you just remain sleeping? Or your mic. I don't know.
You're muted.
Yeah, you're muted just in case you're trying to say anything.
There we go. Chatting away. Yeah, so Tarnik wakes up with Grom's tap on the foot, believing that it's time for his watch. So he's going, so his eyes are open and he's sort of thinking, oh, that wasn't very long.
Grom's going to very quickly say to him in kind of a hushed tone, I think we're being attacked. Something is grabbing me. I cannot see it. Maybe a ghost.
Oh,
And then
okay.
Grom's going to whirl around again, swinging his knife around.
Okay.
Let me see what I can sense.
Tarnik, you see him like swinging his dagger.
Yeah, so I'll use the divine sense again.
You don't.
So if it doesn't show anything on or around Grom, you're gonna ignore it.
Yeah, you don't see anything at all around Grom.
I think you're dreaming, mate.
And then
There's nothing here.
as you, Grom's back is actually to you, and you don't see anything on his back. But Grom, you do feel like another sting, and you feel like another point of damage.
Something is. Does it feel like a sting? And if so, what part?
It doesn't feel like a sting, I guess. That's the best way I could explain it. It's like it's definitely rupturing into the skin. It's definitely damaging the skin. So
On what part of his body? On his back?
Yeah, now it's further up, closer to his neck now. It was kind of in the mid of his back, and now it's up to his neck, around it.
He's going to actually tear off his leather armor.
Okay.
Try to reveal his back. He's gonna be like, "There's something on my back, maybe under my armor."
And if Tarnik is watching as Grom does this, you see a rather large mouse jump out of the armor, jumps onto your foot, Tarnik, and then over tries to scurry past Shiv.
Shiv would have woken up with me on the connection that he has, and seeing the mouse would have immediately tried to bite it and catch it.
Okay, go ahead and roll an attack for him.
Does Grom see this? Does the mouse scurry away?
Yeah.
He would like look at it for a minute, and then he would like nervously chuckle and say, I thought I was under attack from a ghost.
13. Shiv.
Oh yeah, that'll get it. The mouse does its last squeak as Shiv grabs it into its jaw.
Tarnik seeing that and hearing, feeling Shiv enjoying his new meal, Tarnik turns to Ron and says, really? A mouse? A mouse run up your bloody clothes? Unbelievable. I thought you were trying to be an orc, and you can't even watch out for a mouse.
I will admit it was very dark up there. Kind of sheepishly shrugs his shoulders and starts putting his armor back on.
I'm up now, so you go and have a rest. I'll take over the watch.
If Grom leaves his armor off, will he sleep better? Isn't that?
Yeah. Leather armor's not as bad as like metal armor. Metal armor is the worst. Like you don't usually get rest if you wear your armor to sleep like this. It's like chainmail or plate mail. But I think leather armor not as bad. But yeah, if you take it off, you'll definitely sleep better.
He's just gonna leave it off there, and then he's gonna head back over to a spot and then just start going to sleep.
Okay.
Still has the creepy crawlies from the mouse.
All right. So Tarnik.
Tarnik will jump up on Shiv's back as a booster and then climb up the rest of the tower.
All right. So that was. So you're gonna look for, and you're gonna keep watch for 2 hours, or more.
Yep.
2 hours. 2 hours.
2
Okay.
hours for now.
Okay. So as you are now keeping watch, let me see something here. All right. So you will also eventually start seeing similar idea as what you had seen before with the mists. But yeah, you can definitely see that these mists have now become much more thicker and advanced during the night. And you can almost feel the mist upon your skin this time. It's almost like if it's just rolling over it, touching, trying to discern what you are. And sometimes it gets interestingly thick enough to where you can't see when there's like a puff of it just kind of moves in front of you, in front of your eyes. And you have to wait for it to move out of the way before you can finally see the rest of the city. And as you are sitting there, once again, you, as Grom did, you start to hear the source of sounds bubbling off in the distance somewhere. And it says, "He woke the dark thing." You hear that again. "The betrayer promised glory. He gave us death. We bled for honor and were riveted with chains of Shadow. You see it like it just lingers harder upon you. More visceral.
Arnik would stand up and attempt to, well, I say see, but he's basically scanning the area, trying to ascertain the exact direction of the sounds of the voice.
Roll me a perception.
12. Do I still get the benefit of the whatever it's called? Sorry, the cub thing.
I don't know if you get it when you walk outside. Cub, does he get it if he steps outside?
No. That's why we think.
Okay.
Yeah, no, you have to be within the field in order to get the plus 5 perception.
Okay.
Yep. So 12.
12. You sense that it's coming exactly forward. So from where the street is that you walked in, the building where the door is, y'all walked in through the door. You feel and sense that the voices are coming right in front across the street from where you currently are at.
So Tonic will what should he do? What shall you do?
And now, usually you were hearing one voice. Now you hear the tones merging into a chorus. And it sounds like almost rage and sorrow. And all together you hear, "You bear the warmth of breath. You must pay it back in blood."
Tonic looks around and is thinking, pay back. Yeah, and he says pay back out loud. Pay back. I haven't taken anything.
And then roll me for this one. Roll me another perception.
Going up.
13. A lot of mist tonight. You do see something across the street in one of the ruins, the frames that would outline a building. A purplish and almost darker sort of glow. Very faint, just barely. You capture the glimpse of it. And upon looking at it, you can almost see, almost if there was a wavering to this light.
As in, like flickering like a flame, or just
It's not like a, well, possibly, yeah, like a
Or is
dancing, kind of like a
or
dancing
is it?
flame, you could say.
I was going to say, or is it just like the reflection that goes the mist, and the mist is moving?
No, yeah, this light is emanating directly, and it looks like it's just a waving, dancing light. Almost like a, what is it, those mirages that you see when it's very hot in the distance in the horizon.
Yeah. So how long is this watch been on for? Not very long.
Not very long. It's, you know, this started about an hour into it, actually, I would say that.
Yep. So, Tarnik would climb back down, grab Shiv, and head out. the road.
Okay.
He's not telling anyone, he's just doing it.
Okay.
Because he figures they're all safe in the hotel.
Alrighty. Let's see here. So, you make it outside into the street, and upon stepping outside, well, you know this area. It's been your home all your life. Stepping outside and feeling and sensing this mist all around you, as if the mist itself just chills the air. It's suffocating almost, and it's almost like if it's trying, like a living thing trying to make its way into your breath, into your nostrils, into your mouth. And you start going across the street into these ruins where you saw the light. And at this point, you can go ahead and roll me a perception for awareness.
And I have Shiv with me. Can I use his stats?
Yeah.
He's got better perception, that's cool. Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Nice.
Yeah, and roll from 1 to 7 to 17.
So it's interesting that as you were moving to this place that seems to be just rubble, you both notice that when you look behind, or at least at the periphery of your vision, you see nothing but mist. And this mist is solid now, as if you have completely lost where the building was for the rest of your party. And the only thing you see in front of you right now is where that light was emanating from, the ruins. And let's move here. Let me... Boom. Boom. Ah, it won't let me. Okay. I got it. There we go. So, let's move here. Boom. So, you saw, from what you can tell, was in this area where the light was somewhere around here flickering. But as you enter, you don't see a light. And then all outside of this threshold now is completely dark with this mist.
Okay. Shiv and I will head in further. Heading towards wherever that light was.
All right. So here's what we're going to do. I'll let you decide who you want, which one you want to do. One of you can pick either yours or Shiv's, but make me a wisdom saving throw.
I will use mine. 18.
18. Let me look at Tarnick really quick. Okay. Trying to... Okay. I don't think you have anything here to prevent that. Okay, so at least something similar to sleep happens to you. As you walk in, you and Shiv both start seeing this tunnel vision of darkness as this mist seems to follow in behind you and just completely blanket around you guys. And as this happens, you feel this almost whiskey fuzzy burn in your brain that's kind of lulling you. And you feel this chill all the way to your bones as well as this is happening. And it's the numbing cold that's seeping away your awareness. And eventually you see darkness. And the only thing that you feel is the ground coming up to meet you. And you sense your breath. You sense your nostrils. But then you also sense something horrible behind it. A very extreme stench of death as you hear something somewhere. You can't see it, but you hear like something scratch at the floor. And then all you hear is like maybe a little bit of a whine issue from Shiv. And that's the last thing that you hear currently. So, with that being said, we're going to take a little bit of a timeout for you. And we're going to jump back to... Ooh, sorry, got so many maps here. There we go. There we go. Back to the group here. And... it seems that, let me see. Yeah, Silent would be the first one too, since she doesn't sleep. She just mainly meditates more than anything else in a trance. She would go up to Cub when it's starting to be close to where there's light breaking into the top of the roof. And she'll tap on Cub's shoulder. Says, I think it's morning. I can't tell. Tonic. I don't see Tonic anywhere. And she's like, oh, okay. She munched down on whatever little dry beef she had, and she just kind of like stares down at you, munching on it.
I'm gonna give her because I care have this as well.
She kind of wrinkles her nose at it. It's like, okay. And then she like takes another bite of the last of the beef, and then she'll walk over and kind of like sit and stare at Grom as he's sleeping. As the familiars walking about. And
I remember this. If I leave my domain, then the thing goes away. So I don't want to leave. So what I'll go ahead and do is I will talk to my familiar, and I will send it out and try to look for Tarnik.
Oh. All right. Perfecto mundo. So he's gonna head out then. His little tentacles waving around.
A little tiny displacement kitty.
Some normal music there. The morning is popping up. And yeah, Tickle. Bordak will get up and he'll just start doing his routine, sharpening his weapons and looking about, also noticing that Tarnik is missing. And then Grom and Cyrix, you start waking as well. And Grom, the first thing you see is Silent just staring down directly at you, her face kind of close to yours as she was like trying to study your face. It's like,
Is this a wife?
Graham was just gonna sit up and rub his eyes and be like, "Oh, it's morning. It's good. We made it through the night."
Silent looks at you and she says, "What do cows dream about?"
Oh, well, I'm not a cow per se. I'm a minotaur. And then he'll kind of be thinking, and as for what I dream about, and it trails off. Which after a long rest, he needs to roll on his the dreaming curse thing. Crap. Let's see. It is the long rest trauma. So wisdom saving throw DC 15. Would you say that Ground Pride needs to roll this?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, okay. He made it. But with that being said, you know, he was probably still dreaming of nightmares of flames and darkness, and so he would say, "Well, I dream about many things to talk about later."
She like smiles.
Busy right now.
It's like, "I dream about home." That's her common. She's been she's been trying to learn common a little bit better now. And she like
Dreaming of home is good.
she smiles up at you and she says and nods as she wrinkles her nose and eats the berry. Ugh. Magical berries, not very tasty.
Oh, I heard that.
She looks back. She looks back over at Grom and she goes, "Shh."
He's gonna pull out another meat ration and hand it to her.
Her eyes grow wide and she grabs it.
He's gonna hand out a meat ration to everyone actually who would accept it, and feed one to Craig.
Oh yeah, he's gonna.
Would Bordock accept one?
Yes, Bordak would probably accept one for now, once he's training in his weapons, and he'll mention.
Would you accept one? Well, a piece of dried meat.
No, I'm gonna eat my gooseberry. That'll fill me up for the whole day.
All right. Grom is gonna chew on it, and he's gonna go to give one to Shiv, but then notices Shiv isn't here. He's gonna say, "Where is Shiv? Tarnik, their watch should have been over 4 hours ago."
Silence looks over and she says, "Cub said that he always goes by himself."
He kind of looks over at Cub. Cub, did you notice where Tarnik went?
Oh, there we go. Duh. I'm over here talking to myself. I would say no, just because you've done it already. I would say you can go ahead and make it up pretty easily right now, and make it to the top. as you look around, same area that you remember from before the sun had set, but now you notice that the mist for sure has pretty much disappeared, and the sky is still dimming the sunlight, especially here in the morning time, and you still can notice the feel of the cool air, but you can see way better with the mist pretty much recessed past most of the buildings here.
Does he see any sign of Tarnik or Shiv?
He does not see any signs of Tarnik or Shiv.
He's gonna kind of try to look closer, like really look off into the distance. Maybe he's thinking that maybe Tarnik is patrolling or something.
Roll me a perception for that one.
Look real close and see if he can. He's kind of getting a little nervous. He's like, I hope I spot him, just to know everything is as it should be. Oh.
Yeah, it gets kind of bleary once it gets further out. Maybe he's waking you up yet now and his eyes are still raw from the sleep. But he doesn't see anything. No birds, no other animals, just this mist hovering over this area.
He's gonna kind of speak, he's gonna kind of not yowl, but he's gonna speak down toward us. I see no sign of Tarnik or Shiv. This is unusual. Someone should have been woken.
And Cub,
I kept expecting him to wake me at some point, but never came.
He's gonna ask Silent, did you see Tarnik leave?
and she's like, I sensed a little bit of him while I was in trance. I figured he was just taking a what do they call around? I thought he would go around to take watch.
Rob is going to untie his rope. Put his rope back.
And Silent will look about and I'm sorry, what was the bear's name again? I need to.
Oh, crap.
Did I? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I have it down. Duh. What the hell? Hold 1 second. I don't know how. Stop. There we go. The heck, freaking phone's listening to me. Started describing a bear to me. Craig is just sniffing at Cyrix right now.
Grum's gonna walk over there. He's gonna kind of rub Craig's head, like almost kind of absent-mindedly, and then he's gonna say, Cyrix, this does not seem right to me. Tarnik and Shiv, they are hours past due to return.
I agree. This is something's up.
I say, Cub,
Grum's gonna kind of try to assemble everyone for like a huddle.
were you able to roll perception for your familiar?
I was just about to. Nice.
Ooh, 18.
Before that, I was give guidance.
Dang. 22. Since he's so low to the ground, the only thing Does he, like, is this something that you see too, or he has to report back to you?
He has to report back to me. I don't think we have like a shared memory type of process, but like. Combat familiar will initially
Can't you also, like, watch through your familiar's eyes?
I don't think so. I think that's only like if we're warlocks.
Warlocks or yeah. I know Dwayne used to do it all the time. Okay.
Okay, so yeah, so then they
Okay.
they can see through its eyes and everything.
So you would, as Grom is gathering everybody together, your familiar closer to the ground would see that there is some sort of perhaps tracks of Shiv moving into a billion, moving into a building across the street.
See, what was it again?
It's just tracks, Shiv's tracks that move toward a building across the street.
I'm like, guys, like everyone, I can't fight him, but I see tracks. And I recognize the tracks are like his and Shiv's.
You only see Shivs, or the familiar only see Shivs.
Like my familiar has found Shiv's tracks. I cannot find any returning.
I would think we want to follow those tracks.
I agree. Grom will, moving as quickly as he can, put on his armor and saddle Crag. Put his saddle on.
And Pordek will start gathering his stuff too, and like, we need to go and see what we can find out. And he'll follow along.
Even in his spear, or did he take everything?
Tarnik, did you take everything with you? I can't.
Good question. I think he would have, after being woken up, he would have made sure he had all the bits off, so his armor was attached properly. So he's probably taken everything with him.
Okay.
Okay, gotcha. They don't see his stuff sitting there. Okay.
No.
Excellent.
Well, once Grom has saddled Crag, he's gonna get up on the bear's back, start riding him out. He's gonna say, "Lead the way."
Yeah, of course I can do that.
All right. So let's move this.
So Tika will be more ahead of us, trying to follow.
Copy everybody here. Would
I will be back to the restroom.
okay. Actually, y'all want to take a quick break? 6 minute break? Yeah.
I'll grab that.
Yeah, I'll go to this room too. Alright, I'm back.
I'm back as well.
Yeah.
Cool, cool. How about Cub and Sirix?
Hey, I'm back.
Cub still probably out. Let's see here. It's alright. We'll jump to this map really quick. And so what his familiar was able to pick up was tracks lead from the building y'all were in to across this street right here. If y'all can see that arrow. And so that's what you see for Chiv's tracks. And as y'all linger and move that way, let me just do this really quick. No, I didn't want that. Oops. Ugh. Let's move that there. All right. I'm going to put y'all right here. Boom. And y'all can adjust yourselves however y'all want. And actually, can y'all see that map? No. Let me, boom, right there. Solid is going to go in the opposite direction wherever Sirix goes to. Ooh, I didn't mean to grab him. Board up.
This riding crag, looking around. Trying to see, because the tracks lead in here, don't they?
Yes.
So he's just gonna kind of stop right there at the bottom of the stairs and kind of take a look around. Kind of raining crag is gonna be like, whoa boy, let's wait here for a moment.
Do we see anything immediately? Like, it sticks out?
Roll me either survival or perception.
If Rom is rolling a survival to navigate or track, due to labyrinthine recall, he would get advantage. Would I get to make this with advantage?
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can do that.
A Minotaur. And labyrinthine creatures.
19. Okay. 19 is way good. So I'd say Grom, you would around this. Let's go ahead and focus ping that. Around this area, you would spot what seems to be fur, barely spotting it with your eyes, to be Shiv's fur.
Dismount and go closer. And like go closer.
Okay. So as you are about to examine that, really quick, jumping back over to Tarnik. So Tarnik, for you, this will be interesting. You would wake up, and the first thing as your eyes start to see, let's say, to see around your vision is a little blurred, like almost crusted, and you feel like as if you haven't eaten or drank water for days. And you don't see Shiv anywhere around you as well. And so I'm going to ask, for as far as Tarnik, as far as memories go, what was his life up like growing up? Does he have a mother, father, or what is most important in his history of living? What does he remember the most about his life?
I'm trying to think of the words. Sorry. Basically, his family are gone. He grew up with them until like he was 18 or so, and then the eldest started just joined the village.
Who was he closer with? I mean, I know he would probably love them both equally, but who did he confide more with? The father or the mother? What bond would he have been closer
Probably
to?
the father.
The father? Okay.
Probably the father. Yeah. Just because of Orc.
Okay.
The father.
The father. All right. And what was his father like?
He's very much like Tarnik. If anything, he's probably a little rougher, a little sterner.
Okay. So in this gray mist, the first thing you see is your father, Tarnik. And he's there. And it says, "Ah, what a weakling you have grown up to be! You're lingering around with an elf. You dishonor me. Why are you dishonoring me?"
Tarnik, he's still rubbing his eyes. He's not believing his ears. He's going, this is a trick. My father's gone.
I'm not gone. What are you talking about? I've been here watching you. Watching you make a disgrace of our name.
Me making a disgrace.
You travel with elves.
Tells me where to go. Ganosh tells me to do this.
Gunash would never tell you to travel with elves. Travel with elves, the ones who murdered your mother, destroyed our village. What is this? You are bringing dishonor to me.
I don't know what you're seeing or hearing, but I am not bringing dishonor to you. I am bringing honor to our whole family. I have gone without a clan name because of you. Because of your death, I have no clan name.
Who do you think brought that death upon us? And you're walking with the enemy now.
You did. You sent me on that quest. You sent me to do my what's that thing? Rite of passage.
He says, "Don't lay blame on me."
Well, don't lay blame on me either.
He says,
I mean,
"The only blame I have for you is that you are traveling with the enemy. What do you expect me to think?"
see, you were always slow, weren't you? You were always slower than me. The enemy is not the elves anymore. The enemy is the undead and elite.
Roll me
They
a
can burn the world.
roll a perception or not perception, persuasion.
Is this actually happening, or is this like a figment to Tarnin?
Not sure.
I'm assuming we don't hear this, do we? We're not-
No, yeah, you don't. Yeah, I don't hear it. Ooh,
23 persuasion.
23. Wow, that's a good roll. As you finish your words, you see your father just stand there, and the rage just vanishes from his face, and says, I can't believe this. I can't believe they're tricking you. I thought you were smarter. I thought I raised a better son than this. You just shamed me. I will not forgive you for this. And you see him just wisp away. And then as this is happening now, you feel a poignant memory start shaping, and you start hearing laughter, and something that's kind of horrific to you, maybe, perhaps, but you start hearing elven instruments, music, just playing all around you. And then you start hearing laughter. And you see now wisps of images start forming around you. Now you're standing what seems to be of some sort of very fairy-like tavern, elf in nature. You see elves drinking their elven wine, dancing, talking with their musical voices, and a lot of them laughing, saying, and you can understand them, say, yeah, we destroyed that elf, we destroyed that orc village, and did you see them all scream? Those pathetic orcs, always stupid, idiotic creatures. They don't ever understand how to fight with strategy, do they? And you hear this other female elf just laugh. Yes, these elves, they always think that they're always going to be the number one, but they don't understand that the world sees them as nothing but filthy animals. Filthy animals that need to be wiped from the face of this solar. And you just see them as they start just cheering on about the killing of the village, your village, and talking about how proud they are to be rid of these roaches of the world, this trash, insignificant life. What does Tarnik feel in this? Or what is Tarnik doing currently?
Currently he is on his hands and knees looking for a rock that he can throw.
You would find one.
Stand up and, yep, he'll stand up with the rock and look around and throw it at the last elf that talked. Well, where he thinks the last elf that talked is.
Okay. And you're doing this with... Okay, so you're throwing the rock. Is it out of an emotion?
Confusion and anger.
Okay, so you do have an anger. Okay, cool. So confusion and anger. Okay, so now this is a specific question. Where is the anger from? Is it because of what they're saying? Or something else?
No, I think it's from what they're saying.
Okay, excellent.
He's quite a proud orc.
All right, so go ahead and roll me a wisdom saving throw. And then roll me an attack. I guess using dexterity.
Wisdom.
Wow. 25. You're so angry that the stone flies into the wooden wall instead of the elf. None of the elves even notice. And you rolled a 25 wisdom.
Right. Wisdom, yeah.
Jeez, that's a
So
good.
the rock was basically to see whether they were spirits or not. And whether the rock would pass through them.
Yeah, I completely missed them. So, and all right, with a 25 wisdom, you see the Elven Tavern just disappear, and the elves disappear, and now you do notice that you also are without armor. You don't have any of your armor, and you just realize that you don't have your weapons as well. And this gray mist continues to float about you, and it's almost as if there's. You can see as it swirls about, almost like a hand that reaches out and tries to grab at you, and it just whirls around you. And this is where we're currently going to leave Tarnik for right now. And we're going to jump back to the group. All right. So what's the group doing?
Can Tarnik actually feel ships still?
No.
No, okay.
Brom was leaning down to examine the fur that he thought might be Shiv's fur on the ground, like looking for a clue.
Okay. And you roll me an investigation.
I'll roll for the guidance first, and then investigation.
Oh, that's a good roll for 3. Oh no.
So it looks like 10 altogether.
10 altogether. All right. Well, you definitely can tell that it's Shiv's fur. However, you can't deduce anything else, because as you look around, it seems that it's just in that specific area, and then it just disappears. No signs of being dragged or anything here, and no signs of Tarnik anywhere.
You know, Grandma's gonna do something. He's actually gonna go back to Crag, get up. Actually, no, he's not gonna go back on him. He's gonna kind of take Crag's, like reins and kind of lead him over there. And he's gonna see if he can tell Crag. He's like, smell them, find them. He's gonna see if he can get Crag to maybe follow the trail. He has no idea if I can do this.
Okay. Bears have a really good sense of smell. Roll me an advantage roll of perception for Crag.
All right, with advantage. Are you giving him guidance? Okay. There's the guidance roll, and then perception with advantage. Will it let me do this on this little thing here? I think I have to roll it twice. Yeah, I'll have to roll it twice. So there's one roll, and then here's the second one. He has really good perception, actually.
Yeah, he does. Wow. Oh, wow.
So then it'd be 14, I guess.
14. It is Shiv. He would walk here, and then he will sniff, and then he would just start scratching at the area, and he looks this way. And then, but at that point, it seems like he can't gain more of the smell. He can't lock onto it. And just turns back to you and just kind of claws at the area where you found the fur.
Grom is gonna just kind of stand back and think for a minute. If other people want to do things, they can. I feel like Grom is kind of like kneeling down by Crag and kind of trying to understand what he's trying to say. Maybe contemplating for a moment.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and do speak with animals, and I'm gonna talk to Crag, and I'm gonna be like, what is it that you smell? What is throwing you off?
And he'll look over at you and says, Shiv, be here. Smell strong. Then smell gone. It disappear.
Alright. How does the smell stay here, but yet be gone?
And he looks at you.
You're gonna-
It stop.
Oh, go ahead.
It just stop here. He says.
Okay, so Craig says Shiv's sense or Shiv's smell stopped right here as I'm heading over to the destination. It's like, and you can't detect Tarnic as well?
And Craig will turn over and says, ugh. And he's like smells and says, yes, the ugly humanoid, he says, was here, but smell stopped too. And he says, should be here.
We'll have to search this area here.
Grom is gonna ask if anyone can cast.
I'll go whisper to Craig. It's like, you did excellent, Craig. I give you belly scratches later.
And he's like, shakes his head, like all happy.
It's like, can I'm gonna go ahead and do an Arcana check. I'm gonna try this, or try to get a sense of the feel of the surrounding. Since the fact that how he kind of interpreted that the magic, or not, or that with the sense of smell, were here, and then disappear. I'm gonna try to see if, like a sense, like a teleportation magic or some kind of magic is, has been used in play to hide or obscure or send Tarnic different way.
Go ahead and roll that. That's a good question. Let me think about that. Oh my god.
I'm gonna give her some guidance.
Give me 1 second. I gotta look up something really quick. I didn't. That's a good question. Greg is he has like enjoying the fun here. um. What did you roll? 26. Wow. Okay.
I'm 8. Because I use guidance.
That is a good. All right. So here's what we're gonna do. As Cub is trying to inspect, everybody would notice this anyway. You can notice that the mists are still lingering on the ground, though it is a very thin layer that covers and rolls over it. And it's, though it does peek into the room, with that roll, I will say that what Cub uncovers is the way that this mist is moving. For sure, doesn't follow any laws that would deal with arcane logic. So it's very strange, but also it's not dealing how natural mist would also move. In fact, speaking of which,
Can I go ahead, or with this mist, can I do a nature check?
yeah. And with that being said, too, what is the emotion of everybody, like everybody's character right now, as far as Cub and Grom and Cyrix? What would their characters be feeling currently? We'll start with Cyrix. What is your character feeling currently right now, as far as emotion?
I would think probably anxiety.
Okay. And Grom?
Grom would be very worried, especially the idea of what if we don't find Tarnik. He just thinks to himself that that's a super, like he's really worried about that. He would love to find Tarnik and end this unknown that's going on.
And how about Cub? What emotion?
I'll say more concern or anxiety.
Okay.
Not like anxiety, it's more like well, it is anxiety, but it's more like a concerned feeling.
Okay. And so what you roll for nature? 22?
Yeah.
So because since you know that it's not moving like natural, there seems to be, I would say, with that roll, you can tell that there is something about it, something deeper into the layer of it, and something, the presence of maybe your god or something, but something tells you that this is a sentient fog somehow. You're not really sure how it can be sentient, but maybe like semi-sentient, perhaps.
I guess I will pray to the cloak lady of my goddess, or I guess that she's the goddess. I'm gonna see if she can provide some aid of either dispelling the mist or the fog, or provide us like shelter, like our minds to be sheltered or something from this mist, or whatever trickery it wants to plan against us.
Okay. As far as everybody else, what are y'all wanting to do currently?
What do I actually see see Cub doing? Cub, what are you actually doing right now? Like what's your character?
So at first I'm looking at the land, or like at first I started inspecting the land through an arcanic ruin, and then I go and I start feeling the land in a nature sense, and then I
So
start,
you're literally like down with your hands on the ground, feeling around.
yeah, and as soon as I get a full sense of the, or like as soon as I'm kind of also like trying to touch the air, and then I'm starting prayer. It's like a ritual prayer in the presence. Seeing what I kind of uncover.
Brown would walk up to you and ask, "What have you discovered? Have you learned anything that would help us?" Yes. He's gonna take out his viol and kind of run the bow across the strings, and he's gonna try his best to play something that he learned while traveling with the gypsies. Something like the most natural land-like tunes that he's ever learned. And he would give a bardic inspiration to Cub, and Cub, that bardic inspiration dice is a D8 that you have a bardic inspiration.
Go ahead and roll me a performance on that too, though.
Okay.
You can do it with advantage.
Oh, okay. I'll roll it then.
Oh, nice.
Oops, that was the wrong one. Hold on. I just rolled a perception. Here's the other performance.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So it looks like a 20.
All right.
He kind of throat singing with it too, like.
Silent is gonna try to join in on this, and she'll try to join in and help out. Yeah, so it'll turn into an advantage for you, and with Grom and Silent entering, it's very interesting mix, and she kind of unites with Grom in that sense. Okay. Let me think on this really quick. Go ahead and, if y'all want to roleplay really quick, let me think on this really quick.
What?
Roll me a... Okay, so before that happens, actually, in the order of things, let's go with Bordak and... Let me see. So it's interesting when gods get involved here. So, here's... Bordak would be walking here, and Silent joined over here. The bear will start getting uneasy, start looking around, and he's like, and Cyrix, you have more of a view over here while they're concentrating. Go ahead and roll me a perception with an advantage. Ooh.
Oh, that's 20.
Wow. That is really good. So this is what you see. As this is happening, you see this mist become thicker, almost solidifying in its presence and wandering basically all in from here and start rolling on the ground into here. And it's all rolling in to here, and then especially up from this direction, it's starting to roll, and it's trying to creep. As Cub is doing this, it tries to linger closer to Cub, but it seems like little tentacles reach out for Cub and then are pushed back. And oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No. That's what I was just gonna say. And for the most part, it's just kind of trying to linger in through around here.
Cub, Grom, Silent, everybody's going to step back a little bit, but the mist is approaching.
You know, Grom might actually try something. He's actually going to try, I don't know if this is allowed or not, but as he's singing, he's going to kind of suddenly stick in and insult and just kind of try that vicious mockery.
Oh, wow. Huh. Okay. Before we settle that one, let's go to Tarnik really quick.
Turn it into a diss track.
So Tarnik, you are in this gray mist area. But all of a sudden you sense that there's a shift and some sort of emotion of anger starts just permeating around you, and you see this mist grow from the ground, and you can see it also bubbling underneath you as it starts just curling and coiling around your feet. Roll me with a disadvantage a wisdom saving throw. Okay, so 16. These things coil around your ankles and wrists and just whip you down to the ground, and you're using all your strength to try to break free, but weirdly enough, your strength doesn't seem to be working here. And okay, so y'all outside are doing this, and you see this fog or mist getting aggravated. And you're going to take 18 psychic damage. Not y'all. Sorry, on just Tarnik. As you see memories, and you can't even tell if these are memories that are yours or not, but you see yourself somehow there where you see yourself failing to protect your mother, and then you see yourself sitting at the bar with the elves, laughing with them as they joke about murdering the village. And then you see yourself just failing in the battle in the arena, and you never became a chosen of Gonosh. It doesn't even exist in your mind. And you're trying to figure out how long you've been here, but then the time, you don't understand it. You don't know that, was it last night that you've been here, or has it already been like a year or maybe even more? And this is just penetrating into your brain as you're here struggling to fight. And so that's the psychic damage that you're taking right now. Let me see something here really quick. So back over here, Cub, you see a faint vision of last time you had one vision. This time you see this vision, and how best to do this? So with this, you hear the voice that says, "You are brave to call to me in a place so twisted. This mist is not of the land, Cub. It is not part of what grows, breathes, and dies in the great cycle. It is born of broken realms and old suffering. I cannot tear it away, not without tearing the balance as well." And this vision is there. It says, she walks to you.
Do we see this, or is only Cubs?
Only Cub.
Okay.
And says, "But I can offer you something else. The mist may swallow paths, but I give you roots to find your way. The wind may whisper lies, but I give you memory to hold the truth. You must be the light that walks through shadow, not waits for it to part." And then she'll touch you on the forehead, and for some reason, you do have memories that are current. All the memories that you've been feeling lately, be it with Silent and Cyrix and Grom, you feel them, and then you also have a break of emotion that also goes through to them, making you feel sort of rooted to the earth, solid inside of you. You have this sense of, you sort of know where you need to be in this moment in time, and you feel that it needs to be here. And then this vision vanishes, and you are now standing there once again with the group. Well, you were standing with the group, but you were seeing this vision that is now gone. And
Okay. It's like, with that I go and I kind of look at them, and I go like, do not trust like how like you're far away and right away, and then that shook.
You see Craig at this time just being very... He will run at the wall and almost seems like to hit it, and then he turns back and he growls at everybody. And it's just like you see this anger in his eyes, and
I'm gonna go up. I'm gonna run up to him, and I'm gonna also reactivate my speed with animal, and I'm gonna persuade him and like, he's like, Craig, or Craig, listen to my voice, and only touch the ground.
as you are doing this, we're not gonna roll persuasion, but roll me an animal handling. As you are running toward him and talking, he's gonna rush at Grom. It's up to you what you do, Grom, but he's going full force at you.
I guess Grom might say something like, "Whoa there, boy." Well, you already used the one. But I could give you another one, but it would have to be a bonus action. Does Grom get a chance to take an action, or is this happening?
If he's talking to him and trying to calm him down, I would say no. Since you said you were gonna talk to him. So yeah, he's gonna come at you. So that would be, let's see. So he tries to slash at you. Well, tries to bite. He tries to maw at you, and then he'll try to like stand on his hind legs and do a slash for 19.
What are you doing? For how much?
19 to hit.
Oh yeah, that'll hit.
So that does 13 slashing across your chest. Slash! And then, Cub, what did you roll? Ooh, 12? As you are... Yeah, you can do a guidance. 15? So you roll a 15. He still lunges at Grom. At this time, go ahead and roll initiative. Okay. 21. Okay. This one. I'll just roll this one then. Okay, so you guys got an 8 there. Alright. I'm gonna do this. Let's see here. I wonder if that'll remember it in the turn order. I'll just do it this way. Alright, so who got the highest initiative? Okay, so it's 21. And then we'll go ahead and go with, let's say, this will be interesting on how they're going to handle that one.
Does Grom see anything? Like, is there a bunch of mist around the bear? Or, Grom is very suspicious of that mist. But...
Well, there is a lot of mist that just crawled in, that's swirling around you guys.
Okay. But no more around the bear than
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, so. And what did Grom get? 17?
17.
Okay.
I got an 8.
You got an 8? Okay.
I got the lowest.
Oh God. And then let's see. That's weird. Silent also got a pretty low one. Jeez. All right. In that case, it will. So you and Craig are going at the same time, Cub. So you'll probably be going first. So Cyrix, you are going first. You see Craig just try to maul Grom and then slashes him across the chest, digging into his flesh and maybe taking a little bit of fur off his chest as well.
Okay, yeah, Sirius is gonna drop those hand crossbows and call over to Grom. Be like, do I shoot your bear?
Okay, I gotta decide. I think, okay, Grom is pretty sure this bear's not influence. And this, definitely this mist has been acting sus. So he's gonna say, "It is the mist. Attack it. I believe it's controlling him."
How do I attack Mist?
I don't know that Grom would have enough time to respond with
Sirius is gonna try to shoot a bolt into the Mist.
Okay. Roll attack.
23.
23. You see that the bolt actually swings right at the mist, but depending on where you hit it, it just hits stone and then falls to the ground.
Okay, so yeah, with my bonus action, I'm gonna call back over to the group, be like, the bolt went through the mist. What's plan B? And
Grom's
that's my
gonna
turn.
say,
And if Cyrix is done, it would be Grom next.
Grom is going to switch keys and play a lower note on his viol, and he's going to, you kind of see his eyes just blacken out, and he's going to cast Detect Thoughts. And what he's going to do is there's two options. Here, I'm going to call it up. So he's first going to use the Sense Thoughts action, and this is a concentration. So he's going to concentrate. But you sense the presence of thoughts within 30 feet of yourself that belong to creatures that know languages or are telepathic. You don't read the thoughts, but you know the thinking creature is present. And what he's trying to do is he's trying to hone in on maybe thoughts that the mist might have, so that on the next turn he can use read thoughts. Because if you detect it with sense thoughts, you can focus on it with read thoughts. So that's kind of what he's trying to do.
So he's casting it on the mist?
No, so he's just casting it, and
Okay.
it's a concentration up to 1 minute. And right now he's just sensing the thoughts. So basically,
Oh, I see.
You sense the presence of thoughts within 30 feet of yourself that belong to creatures. So you
I
would be able
see.
to ascertain if this mist does have thoughts, basically. And also everyone else. And so if you were to detect it, then in theory, on his next turn, he could use read thoughts to hone in on it, like thoughts, basically.
Y'all actually caught me with a lot of stuff that I usually don't. Okay, so that's an interesting one right there too. Okay, give me a second. Let me think about this one. Let me look something up.
Oh yeah, when Ground detect Tarnic, I think Ground wouldn't even have any concept of that.
Sorry, 1 second. Let me let me
No, you're fine.
spin two things that I didn't even think about. So
And then, and then the other thing is we're gonna do is I'm gonna give a bonus action, or I'm sorry, an inspiration, bardic inspirations, my bonus action. Actually, let me think about that for just a second. Maybe I should do something different. Maybe I should heal myself because that Barrick, he could really mess me up. Man, I cannot afford though to use my concentration. So, actually, let me do this. Okay, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna
all right. So here's
go
where
ahead and give a bardic inspiration to. I'm gonna give it to Sirix. Sirius, you get a bardic inspiration. It's a 1d8.
Nice.
And that would be the end of Grom's turn.
Grom, you cast Detect Thoughts, and as this is happening rather quickly, at first there's nothing, and let's just say like if you were to be reading thoughts of a stone, but then something starts poking back, something starts breaking, and you can within the seconds and micro movements that are happening right now, if it's like time has frozen for you as you start delving into this mind, or is the mind delving back into you? You're not sure what's going on, and you start hearing fragments, voices. They're overlapping with each other, and possibly half thoughts, maybe whispers, prayers, possibly screams. Some of them say, "Bring it back. We burned. Where's the child? The stone. The stone." Others you have like, "We took her face." And you have all these thoughts all of a sudden, just nothing but thoughts. They're disjunctioned, don't make sense. And let's see. Actually, roll me a wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom saving throw.
So that's an 8. As this is happening, you become overwhelmed with all these thoughts that are just breaking into your own mind somehow. It's almost like a flood starting to just gush in, and you take 12 points of psychic damage.
You guys hear him growl in pain. You say 12 points.
Yes. And then you can roll your concentration if you wish.
Alright, so rolling for concentration, that would be
Probably a 10 and above, because it's usually 12 of what you take. I mean 12, half of what you take, so this will probably be 10 and above, since that's the highest.
okay. Let me see if Okay, so so concentration check, isn't that isn't that a straight roll? And then do I add anything to it? Actually?
I thought you added like Constitution.
Oh. Yeah, it's a Constitution saving throw.
Yeah.
Now, I have a question. Would this count as? Let's just see. No, I should try to take this. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. I have luck, you know,
Uh-huh.
and one way that you can use luck is when you roll a d20 for a d20 test, you can spend one luck point to give yourself advantage on the roll. Could I use a luck point to give myself advantage on the saving throw?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna roll the Constitution saving throw.
13 is above a 10, so yeah, we'll make it. So you can keep your concentration. So these are the outer thoughts. I don't think you. This is the spell that can allow you to, if you want to go deeper, right? Or is just. Let me see.
Yeah, I would have to use a magic action to go.
Okay.
This is just detecting that there are thoughts, basically.
All right. Bordak doesn't know what to do here either, so he's going to hold his action. Silent is like, I don't want to attack. And then she's going to move back. And let's see here. She's going to move away just in case. They don't want to be near this large bear. And with that, we go to Cub.
Okay.
Okay. Oh gosh.
Literally 19.
Sounds like me and the other night. Anything else aside from that one? I'll say that takes an action, so you still have a bonus if you wish. Since Craig goes next.
I would say for flavor, maybe when Grom takes that psychic damage, it's like maybe he would mumble, "I'm listening to its thoughts," and then maybe his mouth would drop open and maybe gape open a little wider than usual, and then his eyes would start to just like zone out. And then he might say, "So many thoughts."
Nice. 15. All right. Well then. And then the pain from the betrayal. No. So let's see here. So if that finishes yours, we'll move to Craig next. All right. Then Craig will go ahead. Craig, no. Yep. Tries to bite, misses with the bite. And it says you feel the snapping and hear the snapping of the maw next to your ears. And then it'll try to slash at you again with an 11. You feel the claws try to rip into the leather armor, but it's able to protect you and shield you. And they just scrape across it. So now, we're going to jump over to Tarnik really quick. Tarnik, as you are being held, as these things are coiling around you, you sense this anger and emotions emanating from them. You can go ahead and either try strength or wisdom saving throw.
So I can definitely sense the anger and everything around him.
Yes.
Instead of that, Tarnik would like to try and drop into like a meditative state.
Ooh, okay.
And block out all that external noise that's coming from the mist. They won't try to escape them, it's just try and block it all out.
All right. You know what? I'll let you roll with an advantage again with the wisdom, or with an advantage this time on the wisdom saving throw then. Wow. 24. Man, you got some nice wisdom there.
Yeah. Well, it feels like a +4 for my perception.
So, this round, you don't have anything that penetrates into your brain. It clears it for the most part, and you don't sense this rage. You only feel the physical aspect of being held down as these things coil around your ankles and wrists currently. And then, with that being said, we jump back and so we'll go with Cyrix this time. What do you wish to do this time around?
It's a good
Don't
question.
forget you have bardic inspiration.
Yeah, I mean, I can shoot the mist again. I can shoot the bear. There's not really much I can do. Yeah, seriously, call it already. Are we still not trying to hurt the bear? I'm kind of limited on how I can help here.
If when she would look at Grom, she would see his mouth just hanging open, and he'd say, "So many thoughts."
I could just imagine this happening. His maw just open, his tongue hanging out.
Very distracting.
Yeah, I don't kill the bear.
Okay. Ooh, that will land. That will hit. 16 damage. Nice. And you hear the bear just cry out. This loud moaning cry as the bolt hits him right in the stomach area. Grom, you're able to hear this. Maybe it might bring you back to reality, but you're still... anything else from...
Yeah, Cyrix is gonna call out to Crag, be like, snap out of it.
Roll me an animal handling check. Oof, 13, okay. Anything else from Cyrix? Which comes over to Grom now.
basically continuing the detect thoughts. So, so the second part of this is, as a magic action, your next turn, you can try to probe deeper into the target's mind. If you probe deeper, the target makes a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, you discern the target's reasoning, emotions, and something that looms large in its mind, such as a worry, love, or hate. On a successful save, the spell ends. Either way, the target knows that you are probing into its mind.
Wisdom. It's just. I would.
Spell save is a 16.
I would say it. I don't think this thing would even get a wisdom save. It's weird. So I'd say yeah. If you wish to, you can probe deeper.
Here's the thing that it says. It says, if the target doesn't know any languages and isn't telepathic, you learn nothing. So in other words, if it has no languages and or it isn't telepathic, then I would learn nothing, just to clarify. I don't know if it speaks a language or if it's just repeating things that it's heard before, but anyway. But it seems like it must be telepathic.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, but yeah, that's what Grom's doing. He's trying to delve deeper, read the thoughts.
All right. So with that, definitely have some screams in there. And so that's what you first, as you try to break in through the first layer of this, and this, you're trying to figure out if there are any thoughts. So interesting with thoughts. You do realize that there is, as you're throwing those feelers, it's not how you would normally sense, like if you were poking around the mind and outskirts of a creature or sentient thing that had a mind. This one doesn't seem to have a mind, but yet you are able to still detect thoughts. And as you're doing this, you actually can see the fog around you, and you see almost like a child's hand reach out toward you out of the fog. It just forms like a child, and for some sense you feel like it's a dying child's hand. And then you somehow understand a woman's voice that's crying out in Orcish and say, "Don't forget me." And then you see thoughts of where there's a battlefield, not quite sure where, and possibly see some figure standing there, cloaked in some black looking maybe robe or actual cloak, but his skin is pale white. You almost see like fangs coming out of his mouth, but then you see that this fog is feeding on the fallen of this battlefield that spreads out that you see in your mind. And then you see something like a spectral being. It's not really a god, but maybe a guardian or some sort of sentient spirit. But you sense this extreme sorrow. And it doesn't have a face, but it seems to just be a mouth that's whispering prayers. And then you feel this violent pushback on you. And roll me a wisdom saving throw with a disadvantage.
Would I be able to use a luck point on this one to turn it into neutral?
Oh yeah, go for it.
And you said it's a wisdom?
Yes. 15. Let's see. 1 point off. Let's do this. If you're awake, this is what you would see. But let me see after this.
Any reactions?
You take 23 psychic damage.
Oh.
Are you still up?
I would be up. I would have 6 hit points.
Oof, your head feels like it's gonna explode, but you are able to... You sense a mind that's almost familiar to you. Not quite sure what it is. And... Let's see, roll me a perception. Either insight or perception.
Do insights.
23. Tarnik, you are meditating, but or at least trying to block this stuff out. What else is going on through your mind currently? What are you thinking that would make you Tarnik?
That makes me talk. Just trying to clear his mind. Trying to shut out all the external noise that the mist is putting into his brain. And I think he would be latching on to concepts of team and loyalty. And questioning those. I think that's pretty much what he's thinking at the moment.
Okay.
So he's a little disappointed with himself coming out by himself. And getting trapped.
So in the POV of Grom, this is what you read from this mind, and you're able to garner that perhaps this is Tarnik's mind that you're also reading thoughts of. And for now, this is where we're going to end, but the last thoughts that you feel for Grom is if he's like, you sense and feel these thoughts of like prey, like not prey but prey, like in like some creature going after its prey. You sense it. It feels like you're tagged with it, and then just as quickly as this fog appears, it disappears, and now you're just standing there reeling from a headache that's really bad, and you hear some whisper that says, "It lied to me. Don't come." And then you're just standing there. Everybody else sees this fog just vanish very quickly, and then Craig just kind of falls on the ground, trying to lick at its wound. And yeah, that's where we'll end for the night, since it's already 10:11. And
Brag.
We survived the fog.
and then I'm gonna go ahead and stop recording, and thank you for anyone who was watching and future viewers. Hopefully I got the YouTube thing right, and it was also on YouTube and Twitch. But if y'all like this and want to keep on watching, feel free to give us a follow on Twitch, Dungeons and 20s, and of course Dungeons and 20s on YouTube as well. So everybody have a good night, and we'll see you next Sunday again. Goodbye.
Bye.
Awesome.